Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Bitcoin. Big up the CoinsKid crew. So yesterday we've seen a lovely little pump as expected into that level of resistance. I actually took some profit on that little trade yesterday, and like I've always said to you, always counter trade 5 waves if you see them, long or short. But aside from that, I did make a video a few weeks ago, once we got the bullish cross on the S&P 500 on the weekly time frame, the 20 and 55 EMA. I did say to you that this is a looking glass. Okay, this is basically a bullish signal if we see it for crypto going forward. Okay, so like I said to you, I think that Bitcoin's caught in a correction, trying to find the bottom, but one thing that will give the game away, we look at other charts, is the direction of Bitcoin as an eventuality is basically the S&P 500. If it's looking good, then I think Bitcoin will play catch up, basically, you know. So right now, we did pierce this yellow line, and equally we are reacting positively as anticipated off this bullish cross. Now this particular signal has flashed, I think 18 times we've seen this signal since 1958 was the last time that it failed to produce a positive statement for the S&P 500. We put it in way back there, 1957. I do apologize. We put it in and then we failed to take out the high. We sort of rejected at that point, and then we come back down. But then ever since then, every single time we've made a 20 and 55 EMA bullish cross on the weekly time frame, we've always had a positive reaction where we break the local high before losing the low from which we've come. Really is that simple. Okay, so this is a positive statement for the S&P 500 which can't be ignored, and with that it's actually a bullish and positive statement for Bitcoin. So far so good. I did say to you, keep an eye on this chart because it'll give the game away regardless of the correction that crypto is going through. So right now we've got the beautiful reaction. We've closed above this level as well, which negates the fact that this is a 1. This was a retracement 2 before a further 3. It's actually more bullish now than it was before, because what we've got is a 1, corrective wave 2, and right now we're in the cusp and the miss of a 3. Okay, so this right now is showing me that this is a third wave. Obviously it's going to come up and come down and things like that, but we've broken the structure here and created this beautiful bullish structure for the S&P 500, which in my opinion is retracing all the way up with the possibility of taking out the 1 fib at 4818 and then breaking a new high with a minimal target at 1272, potential wave 4 correction before the 1618 will be met at 5878 for the S&P 500. So it's a positive statement. This is bullish market structure. We're seeing it across the board. Bitcoin's in a bull market structure. XRP's in a bull market structure. The only trouble is these corrections that we do go through are nasty and are really hard to find the end of the C wave. Let's dive into the Bitcoin chart right now and see what we can see. Okay, looking at Bitcoin on a daily time frame, like I said to you yesterday, I've begun to dollar cost average into Bitcoin when people are really bearish and really fearful. One of the reasons yesterday was, and I did post this on Twitter, if you take a look at the RSI yesterday, we actually were on that green line. So for me, that's where I just put some bids in, and I basically jumped into Bitcoin yesterday, not with all my portfolio, just a little bit of a allocation, because that's what I like to do on these dips. Okay, so yesterday we were actually down here on the RSI. I did make a post on Twitter. Let me show you right now. So yesterday I did make this post on Twitter. I noticed that the green line was acting as support just there for Bitcoin, and that was a sweet little entry point. And this is the RSI is an amazing indicator. Please get into your charts. It's amazing. Okay, it shows bullish divergence, bearish divergence, and things like that. When you're really overcooked, that's where you shouldn't necessarily be buying Bitcoin. And when you're down here, really oversold in the floor below 30, then you should really be buying Bitcoin. It really is that simple. But at the time, you never feel like it. You never feel like selling there because you feel like it's going to carry on forever, and you never feel like buying there because you feel like it's going to carry on forever. But what we did here, this was the June low from last year. We came up and we actually come back with the FTX fallout, but with that drop we put in the price action, we actually created a higher low in the RSI and a lower low in the price action, which was a massive bullish divergence, which has led to this massive surge into this zone here, the 70 zone. So again, this was just a sweet little spot to take some profit, and we're looking at the time as confluence, and right now we're looking for this pullback to this green line. Okay, I think that one thing that could be quite negative here for Bitcoin, and it could indicate to us and a kind of looking glass and some kind of signal, is the fact if we start to lose the 50 zone. So if Bitcoin starts to come down and we start to sort of trade under this, and we got this sort of resistance under the 50 zone, regardless of coming back up, I think that signal there could be quite a bearish signal in the short term, in the sense that what we've got is an A, some kind of B, and some kind of C. So we're going to keep an eye on this going forward. Okay, I think if Bitcoin loses momentum and the 50 zone and falls below this green line, and the dotted grey line at 50 starts to trade below that, then I think that could be a looking glass, pretty much like this. Look, we came down like that, fell below, came up, made a lower high, and it was just a big looking glass to a larger ABC correction. But in my opinion, if we do get that, then I think it's a macro ABC correction after a macro impulsive move, in the sense that what we've got is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this would be the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave, some kind of macro wave 2, which is only opportunity in my opinion. So again, losing the 50 zone on the RSI on the weekly time frame could indicate to us that is the scenario that we're looking at. where we come down in A, come up in a B, and then we have a C wave drop. And Bitcoin's not looking to take out that local high around about 31k that they put in April anytime soon. Okay, that's an absolute possibility. And I think I went through that with you in yesterday's video. But obviously, it's all about support and resistance. And right now, we have had a beautiful reaction off that green line. And right now, we're coming upstairs. So let's dive into the charts right now and see what we can see, okay? So looking at Bitcoin on the daily time frame, I don't necessarily think the correction's in just yet. You know, I'd love to tell you that it is. There's a couple of scenarios that I'm looking at right now, and the reason is I think that the correction, we might see one last little leg down, possibly this week, if not next week. Is because of the altcoins. I'm looking at some altcoins. I've been targeting lower prices for them because of patterns and things like that. So I think they've got further to fall. And the only reason they do fall, obviously, is because Bitcoin falls. So this is why, for the past few weeks here, I've not been projecting to the upside. I've actually been looking for downside, you know. And it is, you always try and find confluence. But right now, the long-term projection for me, because of what the S&P 500 has done, is the fact that Bitcoin could actually be on the cusp of a wave 3 as well. You know, in the sense that what the S&P has done is broken that local high. So right now the S&P 500 is up there somewhere in a wave 3, and Bitcoin's still in a wave 2. Do you understand? So what we've got is a beautiful impulsive wave 1, corrected wave 2, and right now Bitcoin, once this bottoms out, could be on the cusp of a major third wave here, and we could see an explosive move for Bitcoin when people least expect it. So that's the scenario that I'm looking at, and the S&P 500 is kind of telling us that that's a possibility right now because of what it's doing. Okay, so I wouldn't get too bearish on Bitcoin just yet. One thing that would get me a little bit short-term bearish, to be honest with you, is if we did start to lose the 50 level on the RSI on the weekly time frame, which I've gone through in the earlier part of the video. But we have been looking here at this 1 2 3 4 5 of the A wave, the 1 2 3 in the B wave, and I was looking for 5 waves here, wasn't we, of the C wave, because like I said to you, the C wave usually does have 5 waves. So we've got the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and then boom, the 5. So right now we have actually put in the final 5th wave there. So for me, this was just a good opportunity to just dollar cost average into Bitcoin anyway. But if we do go again, where would be an optimal entry point to put bids in on Bitcoin? So if we do start to see another drop, I think the 1272 at 25189 could be a little sweet spot for you to enter Bitcoin. Okay, just dollar cost average into that. I wouldn't necessarily be looking to long that position because obviously it could go through that, but what we'll do, we'll look for a bottoming out pattern down there. But that's an area of interest to me, 25189, because what we do usually see is that the C wave runs out of steam, and the last leg down, the last move down, usually gets a minimal target 1272, 25189. So that's what we could be looking for Bitcoin. And what we've got here is some kind of 1 2 3 4, and then we've got the final little leg down, and then we're gone. That's a possibility, and the S&P 500 could be showing us that right now. And obviously, if we get below that 50 level on the RSI and we start to stay down there, then I'm going to lean more towards the fact that we've got an A, a lower high B, and then the C. Okay, so we'll try and find all the support and resistance going forward, but at the minute, you know, I'm not overly bearish on Bitcoin. I think we're in a bull market, and I think we're just looking for support for the continuation of this bull market. I hope you understand that update. Take care, everyone. Back to another update on Bitcoin. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye-bye.